Morning, everybody. It's Susan Paget here from the Change Guru. I'm in a little hotel room and I can't get my lighting quite right, so I hope that you can bear with me today because I wanted to talk to you about the concept of failure. Now, you might remember in my last video, and I'll put a little link to it below me, that I'm going back to school. I'm one of many people of our generation who want to go back to school. So one of the challenges that I'm having is that in my particular degree, I need to do several units of statistics. And statistics is something that is challenging for me. It's unfamiliar. When I was in school in my earlier years, I never did things like, I always did my best to avoid anything that had anything to do with math. So right now, when I'm confronted with it and have to do it, it probably brings up some alarm bells that I had, carrying over from when I was a kid. But in this statistics class, this particular unit that I'm doing, I'm kind of coming to terms with the idea that there's a chance that I won't pass this class. Something about it is just absolutely not connecting with me. Perhaps it's because I'm doing this unit online and I'm not able to really talk to my teacher. I like to talk things out, so that could be challenging. I'm not quite sure. It just seems like the amount of study that I'm putting into it isn't translating into the amount of understanding that I'm getting it. So anyways, long story short, I'm kind of grappling with the idea of not passing. And one thing that I have to remember is something that I've learned recently, and it's a complete retweak of the way that I think. And it's the concept of there's no such thing as failure. There's only feedback. Now, if you hear that and you go, whatever, it might be because our generation was really brought up with a very clear definition of what failure was. To fail meant you were, a loser. And when I think back so that was kind of the idea that we were raised. There's, you do not fail. And especially when I think back in going to school, if you came home with a bad grade or whatever, it just was not something that you want to do. So when I combine those two ideals of, having to do well in school and also the idea of you cannot fail, to very, very strong concepts that many of us in the 50 age group and over, the baby boomer generation, grew up with. Those two things collide and make me feel very concerned. But when I think about the idea of there's no such thing as failure, there's only feedback, that actually frees me to let go of the worry and just focus on the task at hand. So for example, my feedback, if I don't pass this unit, my feedback is that this particular online way didn't work for me. Maybe I can investigate another way to do it. Maybe it'll be second time lucky. I'll certainly know the material, and maybe by then it will have sunk in. So maybe my feedback is I need to do it twice. Maybe my feedback is that the timing isn't right. I have a lot of things on my plate right now, and to do the unit during a time when my desk is clearer, when I have more time to really concentrate on it further. So when I think about the idea of that there's no such thing as failure, there's only feedback, it actually expands my options, whether versus the idea of, oh, I'm going to fail this thing and what happens then? Will the earth fall apart and all that kind of stuff? So this is a great concept to take into your own life. So for example, if a lot of us at midlife with relationships, if we think about the idea of, I don't want my relationship to fail. If I leave this relationship, I'm a failure. No, it's feedback that something isn't working in the relationship, a feedback that something needs to change. If you're having trouble being in control of your body is not feeling good the way that you want it to feel. It's not being a failure at diets or being a failure because you're not getting into the gym or whatever. It's just feedback that you need to try something else. There's something else for you. So it might not be something that you're thinking about right now, but we're all moving towards different goals. We're all putting ourselves out there in different ways. And if you come up against the idea of maybe you will not get through this thing, think about the idea of there's no such thing as failure. There's only feedback, right? That's what I'm thinking, and when I think that way, I feel more expansive. I know that everything will be okay when it comes to stats. All right, thank you so much for listening. Come and join my newsletter. You can find me at www.thechangeguru.net. I'd love you to listen to me on Blog Talk Radio. My podcasts are weekly, and you can find me at blogtalkradio.com/thechangeguru, and come and like me on Facebook. It's facebook.com/thechangeguru.net. All right, thanks so much for listening, and I look forward to talking with you next week. Bye for now. Bye.